Hey y'all, working on my 2004 Toyota Sienna. On the rear caliper, some brake tubing line. Let's get into it. These products will be down in the comments or description. Slide that jack up underneath here. But it's kind of rusted, so that's why we're going underneath here. Underneath the spring right there. Just like that, doesn't need to be too high. This can always be a good idea. Around part of the frame should be fine. I'm using a 19mm Husky 3/8 drive impact socket with the DeWalt. I love how much power this thing has. Go ahead and set those to the side, as well as the wheel. Has some extra protection to put underneath the vehicle. We got a 3/8 shallow 14 on a flex head Pittsburgh long handled flex head ratchet. Caliper bolt, break it loose. And for the bottom, I'll spin them out after you get them loose. Bottom one off. I'd usually tell you to take a flathead screwdriver, put it in here and pry this open, but my caliper is not pressing, so we're just gonna pry this off there. And I tried using this compression tool to push this thing back, and it did not work. Caliper right here. It was all rebuilt. There's the part number there. Pretty looking. I couldn't find where she's made though. New brake clips for the slides, that is. Shallow 17, same long handle flex head, and that bracket bolt. Be tight because that couldn't break it loose, so you're gonna take a lot of force to push this down. So I wasn't able to break it loose with this. We're gonna have to go get a breaker bar or maybe a 1/2 one. My 3/8 drive right angle impact on these. Whoop. Not working. We're going to have to, like I said, find a breaker bar. Let the jack down, as you can see right there, and put the jack stand so that this wouldn't be bouncing because of it had too much play in it. Still the tire underneath. Tried my long handled flex head icon just to see if it made any difference. It still feels like there's a lot of play in it. I could put a jeter bar in it, but I don't want to break nothing. So like I said, we're going to step it up. Can't find any 3/8 breaker bars, so we're going to step it up to 1/2 inch, I think. Got 17 1/2 shallow on my Pittsburgh flex head ratchet. It did crack loose a little bit. That's working. The bottom one here. There we go. Ratchet these all the way out because they're kind of stuck. The top one. There's the bottom one. Yeah, I would say that bracket's lived its life. Got a new one with the new caliper. Both of these to turn in for the core. Just to replace the caliper, you're going to need a 17mm wrench. You're going to take this hose off right here, loosen it, and then put it back into the new caliper, bolt everything back up, and you're going to want to bleed it with, well, my bleeder's broken, but the bleeder on here is good. This one right here, I having someone push, down, hold, and bleed and all that. But I'm going to continue on. I've got a brake hose right back in here. It's leaking, so we're going to pick this brake line all the way up to right here. Let's see if I can get it there. Right there. 10mm line wrench. Break this loose. These cobalt pliers, these would probably work pretty well. I'm trying to reuse the line like you were replacing just the brake hose. Let you really grab down and put that extra pressure jaw if you were trying to keep it from boogering it up. These would dig in really well. These grips could work too to clamp onto that. Pliers really make it easy to ratchet like that. If I'm wrong, but I believe that's a double flare. The back in here is a 10mm. You can see it right there. I'm using an open wrench to break all that rust off there, or you can use a brush. Back to the line wrench once you've broken all that rust off there. Not a bad idea to pop your hood and put a little brake in your reservoir. Not want it running dry. I'm on the minimum mark. I'm going to use dot 3. Dot 3 right here. Just add her in there. You don't want that in there. So just take your needle nose and pull that out. That came off the bottle. This is the max line right up here. It's good enough for now. That cap back on. So I got my wrench on the line over there, but unfortunately this bracket is lifting, so I have to find a way to hold it down while trying to break that loose. It's a long-handled pry bar, crowbar from Pittsburgh. Comes in a pack of 4. Should be able to do it. That thing here is stripping out, so we're going to have to try the vice grips or something. Like these Bremens, I think these are like 4-inch vice grips. There's leverage with them in here to push down, so we're going to have to try something different. I think if there's more room, these code pliers from Caliper would have been nice, but oh well. A bigger pair of vice grips. We're gonna put the pry bar in there and push down. This is 10mm on 3/8 impact, and we're gonna take out this bolt and that bolt so I can move this out of the way because it's kind of stopping me from where it's turning down. Getting those 2 bolts out, we go ahead and push this over and push that over, so we might have enough room to move that swing down now. The max part started turning right there in the housing, so I grabbed my Caliper and held on to it, and it didn't want to go down enough, so I held it this direction with the teeth like this and pushed up on this to tighten it, and I think I broke it free, so we should be able to turn that loose in there now. So now it's turning just fine. Tell you what, I hate working on these old rusted stuck parts, but better than the car payment, I suppose. There's that bugger. Finally got it out. from right there. It looks like a double flare. These rubber boots to put in there to help slow down that leak. Remember, if it's still dripping, there's still fluid in the reservoir and you're not draining the system. But if it stops dripping, it means you're out of fluid and now you've drained the system and now you got to bleed it all, the whole system again. Is it a perfect seal? No. Will it slow down the leaking? Absolutely. Definitely well worth it, so that you don't be losing all the fluid on the ground that you have to clean up. It looks like these are going to be 10 millimeter the threads for these lines. And I also just double checked them in here, made sure they screwed in before you go putting them on the line and flaring it and everything. Make sure they go all the way down, because there is a shoulder on these ones that these blue ones don't have, but it does seem to bottom out before it reaches the end, so it should work. You're gonna want to flatten this line out and get yourself a line measured about up to where it's supposed to be, and then cut it somewhere back in here. Give yourself a little extra. Figure out how much you want to cut. Go ahead and get your cutter out. There's a cut piece. I forgot to mention with the cutter, you just tighten that wheel till everything tightens, and you spin it and tighten it a little more, spin it, tighten it a little more, tighten it, spin it. Just keep doing that till you've cut all the way through. Here we got our flaring tool from Napa. There's the part number. I'll leave a link to it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start with one of these fittings. I think it's this one right here, this 5 mil. It's this one right here that fits inside the tubing. Bad time to throw your nut on there. See that fits in there? These wing nuts, and put your line in. 6 is too loose, so we're gonna go with number 5. Something like this. You tighten it down, you're gonna want that line to be just to the top of that lip. Attach it to the top of that shoulder. That's how much line you want sticking out, and then you're gonna tighten these wing nuts. Now that you got it snug down, that's about how tight it should be. Go ahead and drop that in. A little drop of oil on the threads here, so it's roller smooth. You roll that over the side, and then you're gonna flip it up over top. Roll it up like this. Tighten this down. So this slipped down, so I had to recut it off there, a little piece. And I had to retighten this, so I started tightening this end first and left this side really loose. Tighten this all as far as I could, then finished tightening this down and even use my pliers there, because this is really tough. It really wanted to slide on me down in. You want that touching down there? I don't know if y'all noticed I grabbed my Made in USA, I think this is a Craftsman flaring tool. I only rented this one because of the adapters, inserts, but this thing keeps going down cattywampus. I wonder if these teeth here are different lengths. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys have had issues with these Taiwan tools. Taking out that insert, you're going to put this flaring tool back on and re-flare that like a single flare would to make it a double flare. Y'all can see what I mean, but it looks like it's tilting this way on this side from the tool. If you hold that tool level, it looks like it's leaning. So yeah, I don't know, something got bent, I think. Bring it down all the way till it's good and tight, and you're going to let off, and that should be the double flare. Which the double flare should look like. Forgot to mention this size right here. M10 1.0. These fittings right here, these also could have worked. And you didn't flare, make sure your nut didn't fall off that side, and run it all the way down, make sure it fits, and then try it. It snugs down in there good, and the line doesn't have any play back and forth. That's what you want. It's important after you get one side flared and the nut on, that you make sure you drop this nut on the correct way before you flare this. Like so. And then you're gonna chuck it up and do the exact same thing that you did on this end. Do it on this end here. Now it's set up as tight as you can get it, and I'll tighten this side. You're measuring it, just like so. Here's my Made in USA ones. They look straighter to me. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It just looks like it's gonna go down straighter. The other ones were all crooked as they started. Even felt like it went down a little better too. A little straighter and everything. Tighten that one down without the, tool. There it is there, the bubble flare. You can see there's like a slight lip on it from gripping it so tight. That should pull up with a little bit of pressure. Flatten that lip with your pliers there. Just pushing on either side of it. If you got some anti-seize, go ahead and throw it on those threads. If not, just use some oil. Putting some Eden salve, or Eden anti-seize, my goodness. Use your bending tool here. This one works to make nice tight bends, because we're gonna need to come this way. This bigger one, but I didn't like it as much. Harbor Freight possibly. Pull the plug out. Now we're gonna put that in. Go ahead and tighten it up with your 10 mil wrench or your line wrench, 10 mil. Start making too many drastic bends, make sure you get this nut up top here. And best to get it started. So we got that bent. It's open and took it off the old brake line. We're gonna put it back on, put it right here. Surface shield. Put some anti-seize on these bolts and then re-thread them into these holes. I already did that one. 10 mil, tighten those up, use my ratchet. Use the impact first, of course.